Hi everyone, my name is Stedman Hood. I run, we got a little delay, I think that's okay. I run Tensor, which makes automated phone calls for healthcare. And you might not know this, but we spend a lot of money on, you probably know we spend a lot of money on healthcare. And a third of all of the money that we spend, so about $1.5 trillion of $4.5 trillion that we spend on healthcare, is administrative. It's not like the doctor doing a thing or drugs or surgery. It's filling out a form, it's making a phone call. It's garbage, and every American spends about 30 minutes a week on the phone with the insurance company, which is not great. So there are a lot of phone calls that happen in healthcare. There's the doctor calling the insurance company. There's you calling the doctor. There's you calling the insurance company. There's the pharmacy calling it. And so basically there's a lot of this going on. And we started this company to automate as much as we could of that, starting with pharmacies and pharmaceutical companies. We've got a couple of demos that I can show you, and this is like pretty vanilla stuff if you've seen any of the voice AI agents. This is just going to be a voice AI making a phone call. We'll do a quick demo and then happy to answer some questions. So what is this demo? This is going to be a provider data management call. This is going to be basically when you know how when you want to find a specialist for, I don't know, an orthopedic surgeon. You break a bone, you go on your insurance company's portal, and there's a list of all these orthopedic surgeons, right? And you're like, great, and now you start calling them down, and you call one, and they're like, we're not accepting new patients. And you're like, okay, and then you call another one, and they're like, we're actually, that insurance is not, we're not taking that insurance anymore. So you do this for like a half an hour, and then you just give up and live with a broken bone. And so this provider data management call is one of the ways that insurance companies can guard against that happening. It's called a ghost network, and they can get sued. So it's not good for you, the member, and it's not good for them. And provider data management calls is how they do this at scale. So we're going to get into it. No guarantees that the microphone is going to work properly. Let's just see.
In this demo, you'll see how Tensor's telephonic AI carries out a provider data management call.
Sorry.
You'll be playing the part of the provider, receiving the call from Tensor AI.
Is this loud enough?
Questions when prompted, so that Tensor can verify your practice's information.
Okay, I guess we're gonna go with that.
Hello, this is Robin calling on behalf of Provider Solutions, Inc. May I speak with the office manager or the person who handles provider information updates?
Sure, that's me.
Great, thank you. I'm calling today to confirm some details about Dr. Ray Bradbury, so we can ensure our records are accurate for patients and health plans. Is Dr. Ray Bradbury still practicing at this location?
Yes.
Thank you. What are Dr. Ray Bradbury's current hours of operation?
Tuesday and Thursday from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Got it, thank you. Is Dr. Ray Bradbury currently accepting new patients?
Hang on, let me check.
Of course, take your time.
Okay, you still there?
Yes, I'm here. Were you able to confirm if Dr. Ray Bradbury is accepting new patients?
Yes, good news, he is.
Thank you for confirming.
Okay, you guys got the idea. So it's basically filling out a form and doing this automatically at scale in a way that they used to have to hire an army of people to do. We believe that this is going to dramatically cut the cost of healthcare in America. Not just Tensor doing it, there's many other companies doing it. Some companies that are already worth billions of dollars. We actually won a contract over one of those guys, but can tell you about that later. Probably the big thing, thank you. The big thing is if you're interested in working in this space, come talk to me. We are hiring. And yeah, we'd love to share more about the challenges that we're having and how we're creating value for people. I would love to open it up to a couple questions if anybody has any.
Can we expedite adoption of this by automating the lawsuit process? I've been in this situation. It's terrible.
It's absolutely garbage. Yeah. That's a really good question. I think there's probably like a hedge fund idea in there somewhere. You could almost like ambulance chase. You could find provider or payers with ghost networks, and then I love that. I think that's Galaxy Brain shit. Any other Galaxy Brain shit? Yeah.
Do you handle any customer information? Do you have to worry about HIPAA compliance?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we have to have. So when you're handling protected health information, PHI, it is all. You need to be basically you need to maintain HIPAA compliance, and you need to make sure that all of your vendors maintain HIPAA compliance. And the way that you do that is basically signing something called a BAA, or Business Associates Agreement. And that basically says, so like we use, our pipeline is roughly, we're having a phone call. So roughly we've got speech coming in, we transcribe that into text, that goes through our LLM conversational engine, and then out pops text that we have to synthesize back into speech. And so it's like speech to text, is text to text, text to speech. And all through, and you can imagine different providers for all those steps, and we need BAAs with all of them. And the telephony provider as well. It's a big pain in the butt, but you can think of it as roughly like a fixed cost of doing business. You know, you pay Vanta $20K a year, and it's basically done.
Why is there an eyeball on your screen?
Oh my God. Okay, great question. So this, and then this will be the last question. You actually have 3 different types of tear, okay? Closest to your eyeball is a very sticky, kind of mucousy tear. And the goal of that tear is actually to hold the saline tear that you think about when you cry. And then on top of that tear, I mean, that's a saline, so it will evaporate. So on top of that tear is a lipid layer. And the lipid layer actually comes out of your eyelids when you blink, okay? Now, the problem is that when you're looking at a screen all day, 2 things happen. Number 1, the aperture of your eye increases, so more of the saline evaporates quicker, more surface area. The other issue is that the ducts don't open, so you don't get that lipid layer to protect it. And what happens when you're looking at a screen is your blink rate also decreases dramatically by like I think a factor of 3, and that's also very bad for you. So this reminds me to blink, and you guys should do it too. It's called Blinks.
What is it called?
Blinks. Yeah, and seriously, because like the problem is when those ducts, when you don't blink, those ducts just atrophy. So you can get chronically dry eyes, and like those you will just not have those tears anymore. So what I said about having 3 types of tears, you only have 2. Maybe one more question related to this, if any. Oh, what's up?
How distractible is your agent? Like if we just start riffing on something random, is it gonna stay focused?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and for this one in particular, so this is a pretty linear flow of conversation. It's very easy to just model that as like kind of a state machine from one state to the next, and then to kind of constrain what the agent is able to do within each state. If you're doing a more open world application, it's a lot harder to basically make it do a good job. Yeah, I guess it becomes harder the more open worldy your problem is. But for what we try to do is we try to model every conversation as like a set of all the possible states and edges from one state to the next. And as long as you do that in your transition, there it is. And yeah, and your transitions are good. That's reasonable. I think I'm way over time. Thank you. Sorry about that, Danny. Woo! Yeah.